Come with me, little Nishamala, and let me hold you in my hand, and we'll fly away, you and I together, to a place down on the land. Come with me, little Neshama, don't shy away, do as you're told. There's a little child waiting to be born today. You're to be his spark, his soul.
But dear Malachal, no, I don't want to go. There is so much pain and evil on the earth below. Let me stay here up in heaven, where it's safe and I'll be pure. Please don't make me go away. Can't you see I'm so afraid?
Come with me, little Neshamala. It's time you faced your destiny. And as we fly beneath the clouds now, I will show you.
And then we're going to sing Hamala. Okay? Ready? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Mauso Leolam Va'ed V'ahavta es Adonai Elohecha V'chol levavecha U'v'chol nafshecha U'v'chol me'odecha V'hayu Adonai Ha'ele Asher Anochi Nitzavecha Hayom Al levavecha v'shinanta levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha v'secha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shaflecha u'mecha u'kshatam le'os Al yadecha v'hayu l'totafos v'neinecha u'satam Al mezuzos v'secha u'v'isharecha Hamalach hagoel osim Hamalach hagoel osim mikora Yivarech esan yarim Yivarech mahem shemi Hamalach hagoel osim Hamalach Mikora Yivarech esan yarim Mikorech shemi B'shem Avosai B'shem Avosai Avraham v'Yitzchak v'Yigul Arai v'Yigul Haaretz B'shem Avosai B'shem Avosai Avraham v'Yitzchak v'Yigul Arai v'Yigul Haaretz v'Kerev Haaretz. Yay! Great job, everybody!
They come to us. You'll teach him how to play the pool?
Tino ben Aviva Basfana. You should also have Bris, Bismano. Shir Amalos, Mimama Kim Kurazicha Adonai. Adonai Shema B'Koli, Tianos Nefo Kashuvos L'Kol Tachanunoi. Im Avonos Tishmarya, Adonai Mi Amor. Kim Chaslicha L'man Tivarei. Yisi Adonai Kivson Nafshi V'Dvaro Chalti. Nafshi L'Adonai Mi Shomrim Laboker, Shomrim Laboker. El Yisrael Al Adonai, Kim Adonai HaChesed V'Arbei Mofedo. Hu Yetes Yisrael Mikol Avonosoi.
This is something. I can't be already. You co-opted already.
Baruch habo, Baruch hanimoy, moino. Asher tifcha kol b'shacharecha, nizvo betuv b'eisecha, kedoy sheichalecha. Yeah, man, I gotta get the baby.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Imloch, Li'olam Va'ed. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Imloch, Li'olam Va'ed.
Adonai
Adonai Yoshiana. Adonai Yoshiana. Adonai Yatzlichana. Adonai Yatzlichana.
Asher tifcha kol b'shacharecha, nizvo betuv b'eisecha, kedoy sheichalecha. הגויין ראש הישיבה מכובד בכיסא של אליהו. זה הכיסא של אליהו, ודוכל אתם לשעוסו כביסי אדוינוי. סברתי לשעוסו אדוינוי. ומצווי סכו סיסי, אליהו מלאך הבריס. הנה שלחו לפניכו עמוד על ימיני וסומכני סברת לשעוסך אדוינוי סוסנו אחד עם רוסכו כמו איזה שולל רוב שולם רב להויה ואיסוי רוסכו ואין לא מי מכשול אשרי תבחר וסקורי וישכיר חצרכו נזבר בטוב ביסכו כדוי שיכולכו אז זה מכובד בסנדי כועס. אבי הבן ליד הסנדי. זה זה.
My God, he holds the baby like it's some sort of doll.
אבי הבן, baby. לא כאן. Welke zijde is ook een zijde.
grandfather, he said, I'm the great-grandfather, so the great-grandfather is also a grandfather.
אומר הקדוש ברוך הוא לאברהם אבינו, תלך לפניי ואהיה סומין, הנני מוכן ומזומן לקיים מצוות עשה, וציוונו הבורא יזברך שמו לעמוד, והנה ימדנו אלוהינו עלינו, ומעשה ידינו כהננו עלינו, ומעשה ידינו כהננו אבי אברהם, אני נותן לך את הסכין, אתה ממנה את השליח למול את בנך, מסכים? כן. בריס קודש, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על המילו.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להכניסו וגיסו של אברהם אבינו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
שם שנכנס מעשים טובים. ברוכס? יכול לעזור. אוקיי, גמרנו, הנה, ויש ברוכס, אז זה ידע? רגע, מי זה לברוכס? כמה זה ידע? זה ידע, סנטה זה... ברוך.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגוף.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידש ידיד מבטן וחוק בשער עשם וצאצאיו חסם ביוס בריס קודש על כן בישראל זוז אל חייך על פנו צורנו סבל להציל ידידוס שערנו משחס למען בריסו אשר שם בבשרנו ברוך אתה אדוני כורש הבריס.
אמן.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו קיים את הילד הזה לאביו ולאמו יקרא שמו בישראל דוב אריה בן יקוסיל חיים ישמח אב יוצא חלוצו וסוגל אמו בפרי בטנו ככסוב ישמח אביך ואמך וסוגל ילדתך ונאמר ואעבור אלייך וארך מתבססת בדמייך
ואוי מעלות
ונאמר זכר לעולם בריסו דבר ציוול אלף דור אשר כרסס אברהם ושמוסו ליצחק ויעמידה ליעקב לחוק לסבר סולו ונאמר ויאמר אברהם יצחק בנו בן 18 ימים כאשר ציווה עשו אלוהים
אוידו לאדוני
הודו לאדוני כי טוב כי לעולם חסדו דוב אריה בן יקוסיל חיים זה הקטון גדול יהיה כשם שנכנס לבריס
ברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב ועושה לך נמולדו ואריה בן הרב יקוסיל חיים בעבור שנכנס לבריס וכל הקהל מבורכים מויסוי וכשם שנכנס לבריס כן ייכנס לתוירו לחופו ולמעשים טובים ונועם העומד. מזל טוב עלינו לשבח. למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. אמן.
Okay,
you can see the other way better.
we have it from smart.
Hey, Yael. But that's look at her face. Probably.
This author, Marvin, the synagogue, after our family celebrating the second Simcha, last author, we got engaged. So here, we celebrate the Bris of our son, today is also Shushan or Rata, which is a special day that the Nisim Purim are associated with today. And the Gemara in Masechtas Megillah, Chazayin and Beis, Darshan is Pasuk Megillah, that we're all very familiar with from Megillah. Vayudim Hosa Ora V'Simcha V'Sason B'Kar. And it goes through the Darshan with the word Sason, the joy, Zu Mila. The Bris Mila. The Sason, the joy, is the Bris Mila. And it goes to Pasuk, Sas Anochi Alim Rasecha. That I rejoice over your sayings. Rashi explains that the examples given from this drasha are things that Chama Harasha was gozer against, and one of them was Bris Milah. And upon the Nisim and the Klos of Gedal and Tesvav, we were zokah to receive the ability to perform these mitzvahs once again. But the pasuk that's quoted, Sas Anochi Alim Rasecha, is puzzling how it relates to Milah, since we're saying we're rejoicing over your sayings. So Rashi explains that the word in Rasacha is that when the commandment was given to Avraham Avinu, it was given the lashon Vayomer instead of the Yedaber. But I saw an interesting explanation by Elio Schlesinger. He explains that many people circumcise their son. I think the rate today in America, at least, is 1 in every 2 babies are circumcised. So what is it that makes Milah or circumcision into a mitzvah? It's the birchas. It's the brachos that we go ahead and with our amira, we turn an action that might be assumed to be mundane, and we turn that into a mitzvah. So Sasa Nogdal Rasecha, we're saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we rejoice in the ability to use our words to elevate our actions into mitzvah. There's another aspect of Milah mentioned in the Rashi on this Gemara, where he says how David rejoiced over his bris milah. And Baruch Mimeshbash asks the Kasha, why do we say Kishem Shenichnas Bris? Why don't we say Kishem Shenichnisav Bris? Which would make grammatically more sense. So he explains that the lashon of Nichnas parallels the Gemara in Menachos, the story with David HaMelech enters the Beis HaMerchatz, and he enters the bathhouse, and he sees that he's naked of mitzvos, and he sees his bris milah, and he's comforted. So an alternative shot is that any mitzvah that we do can sometimes have a little bit of ulterior motive. We might do chesed and we're doing it for the right reasons, but a little bit it's for ourselves, a little bit. So David HaMelech looked at mitzvahs and said, it's so hard to do a mitzvah just for the sake of the mitzvah. And he thought he was naked of mitzvahs. And what he did was he saw his bris milah, he realized that the mitzvah of milah that we do on a baby who's 8 days old, there's no inclination for anything else. The baby doesn't even know what's happening. And that the start of life starts with a mitzvah that's fully l'shem shemayim. And part of the bracha that we give to our son, Dov Aryeh, is that just as he entered this mitzvah of milah without any pniyah, without any inclination, without any swerving towards any other direction, he should Amir Hashem continue to enter into all of mitzvahs, the Torah, Ma'asim Tovim, with this lishma attitude. This week has been a week of tremendous simcha and bracha for our family. It's been a trying time as well. A few days ago, Yal's great-grandmother, Bubby, passed away. She was a woman who loved her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren very much. And she would have loved to have met her great-great-grandson. We thought it was especially appropriate to name our son Dov Aryeh after Bubby's grandfather, Rav Dov Aryeh HaKohen, Rabbi Bernard Leventhal. Rabbi Leventhal was the chief rabbi of Philadelphia in the early to mid 1900s. He was a dominant force responsible for building Orthodox Judaism in America. And we all here benefit from one of the institutions that he was so instrumental in establishing. It is our hope that our son, Dov Aryeh, will become a builder of Klal Yisrael in his own unique way, and to start to continue to give nachas to his great-grandparents, his grandparents, his parents, and all of Klal Yisrael. In terms of thanks, on behalf of Yal and myself, obviously a tremendous hafara that can't really be given to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The discuss to have a bar here in Eretz Yisrael, and that everything went well, and everything was healthy. We know how much, how special it is, and how unique what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for us is. I'd like to thank my mother and father. My father who was here, my mom, who will come for the opinion of Ben, for everything that they've done, for the guidance, coming, Ima and Abba coming, and Ima especially for all the special work that she's been doing with Yal, and also raising the Aryeh. To all of our grandparents, Grandma Esther, Savta, Zadie Ralph, Savta Yudi, and specifically Grandma and Grandpa, who are here with us today and have done so much for us this year. Thank Grandma for sticking it out and being there with us. All of our siblings, most of whom are not here, obviously wish they could be, represented by Mickey. And tremendous thanks to the entire Bris Mishpacha, to the Rebbeim, and just for those of you who it's your first time in Bris, it's a wonderful place. And you come here, you don't necessarily, you're in NYU with a lot of people. You don't necessarily know everybody, but here we have 30, 40 guys, and families have come together as really one big family. And I can't invent things. Everyone wants to help. I can't invent enough things that people can help with. The Shalom Zafra we just had on Friday night was really all put together by Bris. People are shopping and meals, and the Rebbeim's guidance is just something that's we're going to remember and make the for the rest of our lives. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Yal, for bringing our son into the world. I helped a little bit, but mostly she did everything. And it's my brother that together with her, we'll be able to raise Dov Aryeh as our parents and grandparents have raised us. And we should continue to share a lot of simchas.
This week's Pasha, we read the sentence, tomorrow. Most believe in them, with our son, with us, Rashi comments on the word Vadah. It seems to be unnecessary. Shabbos means that's why what is the word Vadas? So Rashi on the spot, Vadas refers to the law. The oath, come to
Oh, no, not at all. I thought you wanted only him. I can't hang. No, I can't hear him.
Not only is Shabbat considered an oath, Bris is also considered an oath, as we just mentioned in the bracha of Bris Kodesh. And of course, we know that Tefillin is an oath. Shatem l'oz al-yadecha. Why don't we wear tefillin on Shabbos? The reason is, one of the reasons is Shabbos serves as an oath. So you don't need an additional oath if you have Shabbos. So if that's the case, why do we need tefillin during the week? If Bris is an oath, then the tefillin in that sense is not necessary. But the difference lies in the purpose of the oath. If it was simply a sign only for Klal Yisrael, the question would be valid. But the requirement for an oath, as stated, to be oath for the Ummot Olam, obviously that's fulfilled with Shabbat, which is in public view, a very public kind of mitzvah with all the public mitzvahs associated together with it, and the Lamatet Malachot and so on. So that serves as an oath for both. But obviously the Brit Milah is a very private oath. It's for Am Yisrael, but it's not for the Ummot. That's why the additional requirement of the oath has to be for Ummot Olam. That's why we would have that the tefillin, which is on a public kind of oath, is comparable to Shabbos in that respect. Baruch Hashem, the Rachanimo Dov Aryeh is going to grow up in a home that is going to serve as an oath of Tahara and Kedusha. Lu Abba Ima continue the chain of Yichus and Sorah, which entail the transplantation of Yiddishkeit from Europe to America. May this Rachanim of Dabaye ever be a source of nachas to the mishpacha here and in the States, and to the great-grandparents who are here, and to those who have gone to Olam HaEmet, and may you raise the Dabaye, the Torah, football, Masim Tovim, and we all be Zocher to Shiva Zion, Our
last speaker, I'd like to ask my father-in-law to say a couple words.
Rishus Rosh Shiva, Rishus my parents, we're very happy that they're here. Rishus L'chutin, Rishus Yael and Chaim. I want to thank you for asking me to say a few words. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that came, my colleagues from IAI, thank you so much for being here, my partners, Joe and Sari, Michael Shine, who just came in from Cyprus, thank you for coming, our cousins from Hashmonaim, friends from Ranana, and from all over, thank you so much for coming. Very quickly, the Gemara in Megillah above talks about the difference between Adar Rishon and Adar Sheni. And there are two very, very interesting machloks in there. Essentially, the Gemara says that Rebbe Elazar holds that everything should be done in Adar Rishon, and Rav Shimon Gamliel says everything should be done in Adar Sheni. And then you have another machlokas Rishonim, the Torah brings down between the Rambam and the Rip on one side and the Rosh on the other side, of whether you're allowed to say Tachanan and Hesped on Adar in Shushan Purim and Shushan Purim Cotton. Today being Shushan Purim Cotton, I thought it was an appropriate thing to talk about. And with the help of my nephew, Rav Eli, we were able to work out something just recently. The Gemara says that everybody agrees that you don't say Tachanan on Shushan Purim, on Purim Cotton, Shushan Purim Cotton. But the interesting machlokas is, why would Rebbe Elazar say everything should be done in Adar Rishon, and Rav Shimon Gamliel says everything should be done in Adar Sheni? What's the machlokas? So the Gemara says, they both darshan it out from one pasuk of Shana B'Shana. Rebbe Elazar says, since everything was done, every year we do it after Shvat, so this year we should also do it after Shvat. And what about Rav Shimon Gamliel? He says, well, every year we do it before Nisan, so this year we should also do it before Nisan. Gemara says, what's the machlokas? So Rebbe Elazar is easy to understand because you have a concept of Ein Ma'arin Ala Mitzvos. So Shvat comes, Adar now is here, Purim is here, celebrate Purim. But what about Rav Shimon Gamliel? Gemara says, Rav Shimon Gamliel says, we want to be Somech Gula Legula. Since the Gula of Nisan, of Pesach is in Nisan, so we want to have the Gula of Purim right before it. So what's the machlokas? So I think the machlokas is as follows. According to Rebbe Elazar, what was the takana of Purim? What were the chachamim doing when they were establishing a holiday of Purim? So according to Rebbe Elazar, it was a day that stands in and of itself. There were mitzvah, there were nisim that were done on this day. And Chazal said, because of these nisim, we're going to establish a holiday. We established Purim, but it's a standalone. And as a standalone, all the regular details of mitzvahs apply to this day, including Ein Ma'avirin Ala Mitzvos. Rav Shimon Gamliel has a different approach. Rav Shimon Gamliel says, I believe, that you have to view Purim in a much larger context. You have to see Purim as part of the redemptive process. What redemptive process are we talking about? So we have, by Pesach, the whole reason for the Geula was Matan Torah 40 days later. And Matan Torah was the Naaseh V'Nishma, was the Kabbalah of Torah Shabbat. And Purim we know is Kimu V'Kiblu, and that was the Kabbalah of Torah Shabbat Peh. So what Chazal saw was a redemptive process of accepting Torah in Nisan, and a redemptive process of accepting Torah in Adar. And those two Geulas go hand in hand. Adar has Chashivas, because it's a handmaid into Nisan. Same way that Yom HaShishi has Chashivas, because it's a handmaid into Shabbos, so too Adar. So it's the Adar that's Samach to Nisan that has the Chashivas. And is, as the Gemara says, Smichas Gula Geula Adif. It takes precedence over the idea of Ein Ma'avir and Ala Mitzvos. The other Machlokes is between the Rosh on one side, who says that in Adar Rishon, on Shushan Purim Katan, you say Tachanun, and the Rambam and the Rif, who say you don't. In fact, the Rif goes even further and says that you're supposed to make a Simcha today. Baruch Hashem came Dovarye, and Dovarye was a Machriya B'neiam. The Ramah, the last Ramah, you know, in Arachaim, everybody knows this Ramah says it should be Marbek Tzas for Simcha, so that we should even Choshesh for the Machmirim. Machmirim being the Rif and the Rambam, we don't have to be Choshesh for the Machmirim. Even according to the Rosh today, that we can make a Simcha, we can make a Simcha because we have a Bris, we have Dovarye, Baruch Hashem, we could all enjoy Shushan Purim Katan and be Yotzei L'Chol Hadeos. Just to finish, I see Rabbi Rakefet is here, so we'll say something from Rabbi Rakefet. As you all know, we lost, Chaim said, we lost Bubby a few days ago. The Levaya was on the day that I left for Eretz Yisrael. And as Rabbi Rakefet would say, you have to know who you're talking about. It's too long to go into who this woman was. She was Isha, Chashuva, Yeshara, V'Tamima. And when we were at the Hesped, people talked about it. It was amazing what people said about Bubby, that people just don't know what she went through. And I'm sure that had she known the name, Dovarye would have given her a tremendous nechama in the final hours of her life. And Dovarye and Bubby together will be a schus for all of us that will go into the Geula, the redemptive process, and Mirza Hashem, Dovarye will be the namesake for the great Rav Leventhal, and will follow in all of his parents' footsteps. Amen.
Rachem, Rachem, Rachem of Albanim, Kain Tirachem, Kain Tirachem, Kain Tirachem, Kain Tirachem, Hashem Aleinu. Hashem Aleinu. Kirachem of Albanim, Kirachem of Albanim, Kirachem of Albanim, Ken Tirachem Hashem Aleinu.